What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben and welcome back to the bench for another episode of our Korean War group build and our Airfix Seafire FR 47. Today we're going to go ahead and jump back into the kit, and we actually have a lot still to do, but it's coming along. We're looking pretty decent. So last time we went ahead and fixed up that gap around the cowling. We need to come in and fix up the wing roots and the wing walks and get all this stuff nicely sanded down. But for the most part, we did a lot of our cleanup last time, and I think we have this as good as we're going to get it, at least with that giant gap there at the cowling. I also have to come in and do a little bit of installations of some parts, and then of course work on the windscreen, the canopy, and all that good stuff as well. I do have to eventually come in and rescribe this panel line right here because it's pretty much non-existent because I put a lot of filler in there, but I don't think it's going to be too difficult to do. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. I'm going to fix up some of these seams again, do a little bit more sanding, some additional cleanup here, and then I want to go ahead and start assembling some of the detail parts and work on that canopy. I'm planning on using the vacuform canopy, so let's go ahead and jump in there and work on that as well. So let's go ahead and get the party started here, guys. Let's have some fun. Let's get back on that Seafire. All right, everybody, so we are back and we've gone ahead and went through all of the different seams and went ahead and sanded and filed, and I think we were even cleaner than we were before, which is excellent. I'm now going to go ahead and prepare for priming. The first thing I have to go ahead and do, guys, is actually punch out a couple of discs of tape, and I need to mask off some of these lights. the very bottom of the Seafire, right where the wing meets the fuselage. So these are going to be just popped out of Tamiya tape with my leather punches, and this should be absolutely perfect to be able to drop them right into place. Then of course we have to come in and start working on masking the canopy. And I'm going to go ahead and try those easy masks that I got with the kit, but they're actually designed for the Airfix canopy. They're not designed for the vacuum form. So I might have to do a little bit of alteration. We'll see how it goes, but I'm hoping that's going to be just fine. Then I think at that point we should be able to come in and start doing some priming. So like I mentioned, these easy masks, I've never used these before, but they are vinyl masks and they are a little bit different looking than say something you get out of Edward or something like that. So I'm hoping these are going to be just fine, but I have no idea how these are going to work. So we're going to go ahead and use the masks for the front windscreen, and I'm going to try to custom fit those. The clears from the kit part are just way too foggy, too thick, not transparent enough. So I want to go ahead and just use the vacuum form. If there's any problem with any of these in terms of fit, we'll just go ahead and take our X-Acto knife and shave off anything extra. And then whatever we can't fill up with the masks here, we'll go ahead and just grab some Tamiya tape and start doing some typical masking. So on with the show, guys. Let's go ahead and mask off all the canopies, get those installed. Want to do a little bit more sanding before my primer, then hit everything with Mr. Surfacer, come back in, maybe rescrub a couple of areas, start up that pre-shade, and then we're going to check our seams and see where we can go from there. So onwards and upwards, guys. Let's keep it moving. All right, everybody, so we are back, and as you can see, we've got the aircraft primed and pre-shaded. So this is actually coming along nicely here. We're going to go ahead and just install some of the extra parts like the tail wheel doors, just a couple of things that are actually going to be the base color, and then we can come back and we can overcoat everything with the colors, which will be sky and extra dark sea gray. Now the sky is going to be used on the undersurface and the sides of the fuselage, and the extra dark sea gray is going to be used for the tops of the wings, very top of the fuselage spine, and of course the rear tailplanes. So that's going to going to be pretty cool. I love those color combinations, so I'm hoping that this actually goes well. And then we're going to go ahead and assemble up that propeller, do a little bit of painting on that. Then we'll have to see what we do. There's going to be some masking involved here and of course some cleanup. So let's go ahead and get back into it, guys. Last time lapse of the day. Let's grab our paints and get this thing painted. All right, everybody, we are back and the Seafire is all nicely painted. I'm loving the color combinations here. I went ahead and tried to add a little bit of pre-shade and post-shade in here to give it a bit more wear and tear on the paint. And so far, it's not perfect, but I like how it's turned out. I also went ahead and had an opportunity to, of course, paint up the propellers. These are monstrous propellers and they're contra-rotating, so they actually spin opposite directions to, I think, negate torque. But as you can see here, it's going to drop right into the front of the aircraft and I'm going to have to glue it down and figure out all that, but I think that should be easy enough. I went ahead and also painted up the canopy, so that's going to be installed on the back of the fuselage at some point. And I also went ahead and painted up the slipper tanks. Now I'm not going to install those just yet because they go over top of not only the stripes, but also the decals. So I'm going to have to wait to the very end to go ahead and put those on. But other than that, guys, yeah, this is a really nice looking little model and I'm loving the details. If you zoom in here for you real quick, you can hopefully see some of the differentiation between panel lines and panels themselves. I went ahead and added in a little bit of white to both my mixtures and I actually bleached out a couple of panels. You can see a little bit here on the sides of the fuselage, but really under surface, you can see a lot more. Again, just added a little bit of white to my mixture and I came in and just highlighted certain panels and hatches to break up the monotone color. I also went ahead ahead and did the same thing on the extra dark sea gray, and I actually really like how that turned out. And of course, the demarcation lines are nice and clean because that Tamiya tape is awesome. But that is really it, guys. Even with all of our hard work, we still have a couple of areas that I'm just not that happy with, such as the cowling seam right down here. A couple of other areas here around the seams were also kind of hard to rescribe. And that front windscreen, the vacuum version, did not fit at all. It just did not want to go down to the actual contour of the fuselage. Also, I've noticed that the door that comes with the resin kit does not fit. We had to go back to the kit door, so that's going to be swapped out and replaced. It's just kind of a hit or miss. Some parts are great, other parts are not. So next time we're going to come back, fix up a couple of those issues, install our landing gears and get those sorted, a little bit of detail painting, and then eventually glue in that propeller. Now you might notice on the back of the fuselage where the extra dark sea gray meets the sky, I didn't actually mask that off as well as I would like, but it doesn't really matter because all of that's going to get overpainted with white to go ahead and paint in our identification bands there on the fuselage, the wings, and the undersurface. Now the undersurface is going to be the hardest part though, because there's a rondel that actually oversprays, so that's going to be interesting to see how I can do that. The upper portion should be okay. I've got decals for that, and also I've got ideas on how to paint it, so we're going to come back and maybe next episode go ahead and start painting in some of those details. But other than that, even with all those little issues, I am still having a blast with this build. So we're going to go ahead and keep on plugging away, and we'll see you back here on our next episode. So until then, guys, you know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool, and we'll see you back here next Monday for episode 6 of our Korean War group build and our Airfix 148 scale Seafire FR 47. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.